Now, when I originally put the car together, I built a sheet metal oil pan for it. There's two things where I kind of went wrong with that. Is one, I didn't put a dipstick in it. It just has like a little tube on the side where you can check oil like an old tractor. And the second thing is the oil capacity. It ended up being just shy of 10 liters. 10 liters is stock capacity, so we're not even as good as that.
So first thing I'm going to do with this project before I get too far is I'm going to go through and measure everything, because there are some spots here where I could have made it a little bit bigger, especially right up on top of this cross member. I got another good inch or two. And then this kind of the main sump here at the back is not going to get any lower. It's actually perfect right now. It doesn't hang down at all. But I want to make it wider. I want to wing it out. Also, the drain plug I had right here, I want to move that to the back like you would have normally been on a Chevy truck. Here's the engine bar made to hold the engine up while we take the subframe off. It's basically just two pieces of flat steel, kind of some pedestals, and then two pieces of threaded rod with some chain on them. Got them snugged up pretty good. Seems pretty tight, solid. Should be 100%. So I got most of the measurements done from underneath the car and brought them over to the old cardboard. And this is what I come up with. So it wings out on the one side. I didn't wing out on the other side because I want to be able to take the starter off still. Winging out on this side and increasing this sump in the middle is going to gain me at least a liter, possibly 2 liters of capacity. I'll be able to poke a dipstick right into here somewhere. Just can go straight in. I've got the new pan installed now. It's just tacked together, kind of as a mock up here just to make sure everything fits good before I fully weld it. And I got clearance on top of the steering rack there. I got good clearance right here on top of this cross member. And then also winged out this side here. I think right here is where I'm gonna put the drain. That'll be nice and easy for oil changes. You'll be able to pop the drain plug out. It'll drain here. And then your oil filter is right on top of it there as well. So all the oil will be kind of easy to get into a drain pan. So that's one thing I was thinking about. And then the other thing will be where we're going to locate the dipstick. It's going to go in the top of the pan right here somewhere. So I'll mark those two things, pull the pan back off, and then just going to weld the whole thing together.
But before I get too far with the pan, I've actually got a bunch of these threads in the front and the rear engine covers that are stripped out on me. So I'm going to take this opportunity to put some helicoils in them and get them fixed up.
And because this is aluminum, it actually threads in really nice.
I can't do nothing with you.
Okay, it comes with this little adapter. You thread the insert on there. And Helicoil does recommend you go in just a little bit further than where you started cutting. I'm gonna get the other 4 done, and I ended up deciding to just redo all of them on the front and rear covers because they are aluminum, and redoing them all is gonna give us better threads in the end and less chance of stripping. So I'll get that done. We'll carry on.
Next, I'm just going to check the pan for any leaks. So I made this plate that goes on the bottom. I have it siliconed and bolted on. I have a fitting put on where the dipstick goes or normally. I'm going to connect my little Milwaukee compressor to it and air it up to about 10 psi and then use some soapy water to check for leaks. Well, with all the leaks fixed and the pan now 100% sealed up, I'm going to flip it over and fill it with water up to about this front sump right here. That way I'll be able to check the total capacity of the sump and also be able to screw the dipstick in and kind of pre-check the level.
So right now I got 11 liters in it, and that's pretty much exactly where I want it. Just got to get the dipstick in here and set the dipstick length, and it'll be ready for install.
The dipstick I got is just a generic Mr. Gasket dipstick. It's like 20 inches long or something. It's gonna thread in right here to this pipe that I got sticking out of the oil pan, and then it'll go in like that and thread in. Once you have it installed, then there's a little set screw on the top here. You can take that out and you'll set your length to exactly where it needs to be for the right oil level.
I can't do nothing with you.
And what I like to do after I clean the surface and before I put the silicone on is give it a wipe down with this grease and wax remover. I know it's normally for paint, but it gets the surface nice and dry for that silicone. I do that on the oil pan as well. So the sealant I'm using is from GM here. It's just 3-bond stuff. And then GM recommends you put 2 little beads, just one on the inside, one on the outside. So something like that. Time to grab the oil pan, bolt it up, and torque it down. So I got everything installed in the car now. Dipstick's mounted, car's been running. Ended up mounting the dipstick just right off the side of the valve cover right there. So it's pretty accessible. You can easily pop it out, check the level. So it's been driving like this for a while. I've put over 1,000 kilometers on it with no issues. That dipstick's been really good. It's got adequate clearance between the header there, as you can see, of the exhaust manifold. So definitely turned out really good. Oh, and did I mention that I got a stock hood to fit on this thing? It's actually just a stock LT hood, not even off an SS car. And to do that, I modified the alternator bracket a little bit. I cut it right there and kind of rolled the alternator down just to gain me about 3/4 of an inch. And on the air conditioning, I just shaved down the pedestals that it mounts to. There's plenty of threads to still hold it down. And the belt I was running was just a little bit too short, so now it's actually pretty much the exact right length. And it just fits perfect. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. The oil pan has been working really good, actually. I've put a lot of miles on it. I've got the car shifting at about 4,000 RPM right now, and I didn't have any starvation issues or nothing like that. So the oil pan turned out really good. But one thing that's not going really good is I believe I've actually cooked 5th gear in the transmission. So the 6L90 is going to be coming out of the car, and I've got a pretty sweet surprise about what I'm putting back in. But that's something I'm going to cover in a future video, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And for now, thanks for watching.